Hey, it's Christmas Eve. Welcome, everyone. And don't you just love my little Christmas style? I just am so grateful to be here on Christmas Eve, and thank you for the whole team who made this happen. I know I'm coming to you a little bit early this evening or today because normally my podcast is at 7 p.m. But here we are during the daytime. But I wanted to be sure that everybody had a chance to be with their families, just to relax and enjoy Christmas Eve or Hanukkah. I know that may have passed, or Kwanzaa, or whatever it is that you celebrate. It's just a time of giving and a time of being with our families. So, just Merry Christmas Eve. This is Tamara Carroll, and I am the host of Life with Lipedema, Loved, Valued, and Treasured. Hey, Laura, I'm so glad that you could make it. So, as I normally like to do, is to read a little inspiration. And today I printed out a poem that was written by Catherine Pulser. And it says, in a world of snow, pure and white, Christmas magic fills the night. With hearts aglow and voices bright, we share in love our spirit's light. May this season bring blessings true with peace and joy to see you through. And as the new year dawns, make Christmas dreams may take flight, and that you would have a future bright. I just love that. And here we are already coming into the new year. And it's so surprising, isn't it, that we're already coming into 2025. I wanted to give you a little update on something. I will be changing my podcast to the second and fourth Wednesday of every month, and it'll be at 6 o'clock instead of 7 o'clock. So mark your calendars for that. This will be the last podcast until the end of the year, and then we will see you soon. So let me just go right into where we're going and what we're talking about today, and I'm super, super excited. Hey, Nancy, nice to have you join. My guest today is a very dear friend that I have known for many, many years. Hey, Lisa, I think there you go. Nice
Good
to see
morning.
you. And Lisa and I go way back. I was trying to figure out, I actually met you through Laura Van or through our friend Karen. I'm not exactly sure, but gosh, it had to be like 10 years maybe ago. And we met at a creative event, and we've been in business having conversations. And I've seen your just coming forward with everything that is a desire on your heart. And it's just such a blessing to me to have you join us today. So let me tell you a little bit about Lisa. Okay, let's see here. She is a passionate advocate for personal growth, holistic healing, and empowering others to overcome the effects of complex trauma. Through her podcast, an online community, and resources, she shares expertise in nutrition, herbalism, mindset, and meditation, helping individuals reconnect with their inner strength and embrace a life of freedom and authenticity. Lisa's approach combines practical skills, spiritual insights, and a touch of humor to inspire healing, transformation, and lasting well-being. So I'm just super, super excited to have you here, Lisa, and just to see everything that you've accomplished in such a short time. And I know for myself, you have been a person of wisdom for me, and I just really appreciate you. And to our community, as we are joining into the conversation, I want you all to join into the conversation as well. So please drop into the chat if you're watching the replay or if you're watching live, and let me know one Christmas tradition or one holiday tradition that is your favorite. And then as we're going through our conversation today, if you have any questions for Lisa, type them into the chat and we will address those at the end. So we just have a lot to cover today. So I'm going to stop talking and let you talk, Lisa. Can you take about 5 minutes or so and just tell me a little bit, introduce yourself a little bit to your heart connections and what brought you to where you are now and what you love to do.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm very grateful that we get to have this conversation today. I think it's really fun. Um, so, as I said, I'm a holistic health practitioner, and I started my journey with holistic health uh, about 10 years ago when I started to experience some illness in my body, and I wasn't really sure exactly what was going on. I got to essentially a place where I was exhausted all of the time. And I
Mhm.
was experiencing autoimmune issues. I was becoming allergic to foods. And essentially, I had no clue what was going on. And so, one of the very first places that I started was with nutrition because I was learning more about our food system and learning more about different types of chemicals and preservatives and all of those things. And that just set me on a journey in finding, my balance in life. Um, I have a history of early childhood trauma, and I didn't really understand the impact that early childhood trauma was also having on my physical and mental health. And I thought that it was all physical until a couple of years ago, where I really started getting more in depth with counseling services. And they pointed out that some of the symptoms that I were having were because of the abuse that I had suffered when I was younger was manifesting in disease in my body as well.
Mm, mm,
So, what was really great about learning all of that, though, was then I was able to translate all of that into developing essentially a protocol and a program for myself to get well based upon adding in nutrition, mindset, like so mindfulness and meditation, prayer, herbalism to help the body to recenter itself and to recalibrate. And then I really enjoyed it so much, I decided to get my holistic health practitioner certifications. I was already learning so much, and I found that I really enjoyed it. And then being able to help other people with all of the knowledge that I was gaining through my research and through my education has just been just a wonderful gift.
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
So,
Amazing. And I'm so excited to like get into more of this information. And I know there's so much more of your story. And I have personally seen your healing come forth. And I'm just so excited for you,
thank
really,
you.
truly. So,
Thank
and
you.
then you're giving back, everything that you've learned and you've gone to school. And that's pretty amazing. So, as Lisa and I were talking about what she might like to bring, the theme of our show today is um, bringing. Okay, I have to make sure I say this right. You say it, Lisa. I got the gift of being your own best friend. I think that's what it was,
Yes,
right?
that's
Because we're thinking
exactly
about
right.
Christmas and
Yeah.
gifting and all of that.
Mhm.
So we had talked a little bit about opening up that present and what that might look like for our community. So, maybe a little bit step by step. Let's start with self care. What could you share about that one?
Yeah, self-care is something that is thrown around a lot in the healing community, and just I would just say in general, people talk about self-care, and the it seems to me that when people are talking about self-care that they're thinking more, it's like, oh, get out the bubble bath and the candles, and it has to be something just um extravagant, and it doesn't have to be extravagant. And for me, I found that a big part of self care included learning how to listen to myself and connecting with my inner self and connecting with my inner hero inside to really listen in and find out what my needs are. So, self care is more about that inner connection. And especially during the holidays can get very busy.
Hmm.
There's a lot of running around, and a lot of parties and get-togethers and obligation, a lot of shopping. It's just a lot of added activity to our normal lives, which is great. All the addition to our normal lives is really great, and it's really fun having those connections with people. But at the same time, it doesn't seem to be as acknowledged that that can also be extremely exhausting for some people. And I think that there are really some ways that we can connect and slow down a little bit during the holidays, so that way we can be more mindful and that we can enjoy it.
Mhm.
So I think that one of the ways that we can really do that is to establish for ourselves what our boundaries are going to be. And boundaries are something that are very healthy and they're very good for us. Sometimes there's a negative connotation on boundaries, but really what boundaries are is just allowing space for ourselves to be able to be real and authentic in the things that we are choosing to do and the things that we're choosing to say no to.
Mhm.
So I think that setting boundaries and adhering to them is definitely a part of my self-care.
Mhm. Definitely.
Yeah.
And then we talked a little bit about healthy activities. What can you share about that?
Yeah, so healthy activities during the holiday season can be about prioritizing your rest and your recharging time, whatever that looks like to you. So, even if it's 5 minutes in the morning to sit down and get mindful and put on just a connecting with yourself meditation. Um, so, it allows the whole world to stop just for 5 minutes for you to recharge. Maybe recharging looks like going out and getting a walk in, or if you have, like I have a walking pad at home. So when it's raining outside, I can walk on my walking pad instead of
Oh,
getting
that's
soaked.
interesting.
Yeah.
I've not heard of that.
Yeah. Yeah. You can get, instead of having this giant treadmill in the house, I just have this little small walking pad, and it just gives me just enough speed just so I can get my steps in and get that
Mhm.
going. And then also looking at not over scheduling myself,
Mhm.
knowing that I need
Huge.
to block in that time for myself, whether it's to be able to plan and then to be able to implement what I'm doing so I can stay organized and not just feel like I'm going a million miles a
Mhm.
minute.
Mhm.
And taking breaks when needed, asking myself, did I drink enough water today?
Mhm.
Something just so simple as
Yeah.
drinking water, or making sure that you're fueling your body properly. Those things are really
Mhm.
important because, I mean, sometimes I do that. I forget that I need to eat, and then I just kind of go for like the quick, easy things.
Right.
So
Get angry and grab.
exactly. So if I take a little bit of time to slow down, to have some food prepped in my fridge, so that way there's
Mhm.
healthy items for me to
Mhm.
choose from, I really think it's important to prioritize that time for resting and recharging.
Very cool. I had also, when I spoke to you, we talked briefly. I love this because we're both creatives, but we had talked briefly about a 5 minute drawing activity. Can you share a little bit on that?
Yes, I love doodling, and I think it's very important. Again, it's a mindful activity. One of the things I like to engage in is something called neurographic art. And essentially you can Google or you can YouTube. It's pretty easy to find it. Um, and it's just lines and circles, and then there's a way that you connect all the corners, and it's just something that you can sit, and it doesn't take a lot of, you don't have to be like this big artist or have a ton of talent, and it's nothing that feels overwhelming. Another thing I like to engage in is Zentangles, and those feel very peaceful for me to do as well. And it's step by step learning how to draw some repeating patterns, basically.
Mhm. Mhm.
And just to take 10 minutes a day or whenever I have a chance just to sit and draw and engage with that creative part, it feels really good to be able to do that.
Mhm. And I imagine it de-stresses and kind of can help you focus. I know a lot of
Yes.
times when I'm listening to a conference or I'm online with something, I need to do something with my hands and I take it in a lot better. So that
Yes.
also is an interesting thing. Well, thank you for that. The second part of our gift that we're opening today is self-love. And you know that that one totally speaks to my heart.
Mm-hmm.
So as a herbalist, can you share some herbs or essential oils that could help our community with their lymphatics and inflammation?
I can. And if you give me just a second here, I actually looked some up and I have them on my sheet because to me, I love working with the herbals and the essential oils. I use them on a daily basis, and I've definitely, not only for myself, experienced the benefit, but they've been well studied and well known for hundreds of years now. It's our basically our original medicine and
Mhm.
created to complement our body systems, which I think is phenomenal. Um, Obviously, these are just recommendations. So if you're on any type of medications, you would want to make sure that there aren't any interactions. I think that's very important because plant medicine is very powerful. So
Mhm.
just wanted to make sure our listeners understand that. Um, so dandelion root is really amazing. It's something very simple. You can harvest it from your own yard as long as you're not spraying it with pesticides. And it can be roasted in the oven and drank as a tea. You can even cook with the dandelion leaves. You can
Hmm.
heat them lightly up in the pan to release some of those minerals. And the dandelion is really great, helps with the lymph movement, also helps with clearing the liver and those different items so that way you can keep your systems functioning properly. Um, Calendula is also great as a topical. You can find different herbal um, like I would say, you might find it in lotions or you might find it in creams and things like that. And calendula is really great for the skin, and you can use it along with massage. And it's a wonderful way to get some of the lymph and everything moving as
Hmm.
well. I don't know if you've had any experience with that. And another one that I like to use that stimulates the lymph system and aids in detoxification, you could use something called red root as well. And these can be found in herbal formulations. A great place that I like to find herbal formulations is on Mountain Rose Herbs, and they sell a lot of different types of tea blends, and they also have topicals and things, and their products are really well trusted and well formulated by herbalists. It's a great resource.
Great. And then
Mhm.
essential oils.
Yes, essential oil. One of my favorites is cypress oil. It's very
Mm.
grounding, which is, and it, especially during this time of year, it just smells so great and it's around us everywhere. I like cypress oil a lot, and frankincense. Frankincense is really, it's great for reducing inflammation. And it's great for our skin. You can just a lot of these essential oils, what you can do is you can dilute them in a carrier oil. You don't want to use them straight, just it's called neat, right? Where you're not
Mhm.
diluting it at all. You definitely want to dilute it in a carrier oil. I like the jojoba oil or sweet almond oil.
And
Those
coconut oil. I've used that as
coconut
well.
oil is really good. And yeah, and they soak in. The coconut oil is great. The only thing is if you wanted to use it, say like on your face or something like that, it can clog pores. Just
Mm, mm.
and it does have to be at a certain temperature in order
Right. Or it
to
gets
be
solid. Yeah.
liquidy. Yeah, it does get
Yeah.
solid. They do have some forms of coconut oil that are more liquidy, and you can buy those as well.
Mhm.
But yeah, and you can add them into baths also, the essential oils. They're amazing. You can add them right into the water, and using Epsom salts also with the
Mhm.
magnesium that the Epsom salts
Mhm.
offer.
Mhm.
Wonderful for anti-inflammatory properties and joints. I also like lemon oil as well.
Mm.
Very, very simple. Has detoxifying properties and helps to support that lymphatic health. So
So
if
is
I
that something that you would put on your body, or would you recommend taking some lemon oil in some tea? Not too much. It's really strong. I did it one
I
time and it was like I was drinking Actually, I think I used a different lemon. It wasn't lemon oil. It was a lemon balm or something. And I made it into a tea, and it was like drinking furniture polish.
Lemon, yes,
Yeah.
that is very astringent, and it kind of has that puckery drying. So um, what I would recommend is not ingesting essential oils.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're going to use lemon, use use actual lemon. You can also put the whole entire lemon, peel and all, into a blender, and you can
Mm-hmm.
completely grind the entire thing up with ginger,
I've
and
seen that.
a
Yeah.
little bit of cayenne, and then you can dilute that if you want to, or you can just drink that straight. And all of the cayenne is also very good for lymph flow and for
Just make sure it's washed
anti-inflammatory.
and organic, I would think.
Yes, absolutely, and make sure that it's not sprayed with any of the sealing products that they have out there
Right.
now, like the A-Peel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are some ways that you can use them. Lemon balm is great, but you would want to use that again in a tea mixture
Mhm.
because it is so drying and
Yeah,
astringent,
that was
kind of
crazy.
puckery. And lemon balm is great as well, but for some people, it can upset their stomach. So
Okay.
you would want to use some of that in
Yeah.
smaller amounts.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to respond a little bit differently, but these are some that are known for
Mhm.
having some of these properties.
I don't even know exactly what is in here, but I do keep essential oils with me. I have
Mhm.
one for headache, and I've got one, this is for calming, and just different essential oils. My whole bathroom is alphabetized with little essential oils,
Yeah,
and yeah, I
I
love
love
them.
that.
I
Yes.
really, really love them a lot. I think that was the first thing I did for holistic healing, was a mutual friend of ours. We learned a lot about essential oils. I did.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. And if you have a massage therapist that you're going to regularly, there are specialists that there are massage therapists that specialize in lymphatic drainage,
yeah.
and they're probably well versed in which products and which essential oils will work best for you.
Mhm.
And sometimes you can actually bring your own blends and you can ask them if they would mind using
Right,
that
I've
as
done
well.
that. Yeah,
So a lot of massage therapists are very open to
yeah,
those types of things.
very cool. And then
Yeah,
I like to put them in my diffusers too, to bring some
absolutely.
moisture into the air,
Mhm.
and, like different ones will help you breathe better or calm, and you have to be careful if you got pets. There
True.
are certain ones that you don't wanna have around your pets, so
That's
that's
correct, yes.
awesome. That's awesome, Blossom. Thank you for sharing all of that. And then our third part of opening our gift is our inner child ministry. And we had talked a little bit about healthy coping skills, and especially during the holidays. What would you like to add for that one, Lisa?
Yeah, I for me, that also falls under the healthcare category or like the mental health and the self-care part.
Mhm.
Um, there's a really great meditation that I like to do, the connecting with your inner child, and it's a forgiveness meditation. Um, a lot of us have that inner child inside, and it's really important to connect with that person. So one of them is a forgiveness and a love exercise. A lot of people um, need to do that with their inner child, and it's a ho'oponopono is what it's called. It's a Hawaiian meditation. You can find it a guided one on YouTube, and that's what I've used. And just getting into that space where I can listen to myself and find out what my needs are, because that's usually the little person that's crying out in there, like, "Hey, pay some attention to me," or "I need a hug right now," or whatever that looks like, but also connecting with that inner child in a space of joy and love and
Mm,
compassion, and finding the fun in the season as well. So
mhm,
connecting with the things, um, I mean, going out and just looking at Christmas lights, something
mhm.
that can just be very simple and very fun, or engaging with other children as they're playing and just get involved in that and be a child for a minute.
Mhm,
I think that that's a lot of fun as well, making the gingerbread house and,
mhm.
adding all the little decorations on there. I think that play is something that's very important for us in our self-care, and especially during this season.
Mm-hmm. That's terrific.
Mm-hmm.
So I've learned recently that you have a podcast. Can
Mm-hmm.
you tell me a little bit about that? What are you sharing and teaching, and how can people connect with that?
Thank you. Yes, our podcast is called Connecting with Your Inner Hero. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Music. Um, Basically, it's myself and another health coach. Her name is Christina Lapari. We're talking about healing from CPTSD, which is complex trauma. Complex trauma is something that they've started doing more research into starting in the early 90s. And what that is essentially long term childhood trauma. It's developmental and relational trauma. And so, what we're doing is we're helping people to heal from that because we've gone through our own healing processes. So, what we're doing is we're providing resources, sharing what we've learned along the way. We actually have a free journal available. We have a community available too, which we'll make sure that you have the link to go to. It's on another platform called School, because we know on Facebook it can be a little bit public.
Mm-hmm.
If
Mm-hmm.
you are looking for resources for healing, sometimes you don't want everybody to know where you are and what
Right,
you're doing.
right. That's so
So
good.
yeah, so we've created a safe community for people to come to engage, to support and share what they've learned on their own journeys, and then for us to be able to connect with them as well. So we have some free gifts there. If you want to hop into the membership site, we would really love to do that. There's no fee for entry. It's just a place for us all to learn how to heal and to be uplifted.
Yay. And how often is your podcast?
We drop a new podcast every 2 weeks.
Okay.
So, yes, so every other Tuesday.
Mhm,
So, we do have a 2-part series already up about forgiveness.
mhm,
That has been a really pivotal point that both Christina and I had to turn in our lives about forgiving. And we talk about who forgiveness is for and what the
mhm,
important
mhm.
reasons for forgiveness are.
Right.
I also have my testimony posted, and so does Christina. So, talking about what um, we experienced and how we learned how to heal and
Mhm,
how we're consistently working through our healing, because, of course, it's a
mhm,
process. And we have a couple of other podcasts. We have one in there on neuro-linguistic programming. It's kind of like how to change the tape in your head.
mm,
So, one of the things we want to talk about is the different resources and the different modalities that are available for healing, because there are a lot of um, opportunities that we didn't know about. And it took me 20 years to find the things that worked and helped me. And I don't want somebody to have to wait 20 years
mhm.
to find something that
That's
helps
great.
them. Yeah.
Yeah. And you look healthier, you
Thank you.
know. And do you feel like you're with the changes you've made with your nutrition and changing the way your brain works, and how has that affected your everyday life so far?
I definitely have better energy levels, and my window for stress tolerance is much wider. I used to have a somewhat more narrow of a window. So it's like I would be in here and then some stressing would happen. And maybe
Mhm,
it would be less stressful for somebody else, but it was more stressful for me.
mhm,
So it would take a lot more energy out of me just to maintain my regular life.
mhm,
So that has been one of the biggest things for me. And the other thing is being able to connect and recognize when I'm in the moment,
mhm,
big emotions that can be really confusing that would come up, to be able to, in the moment, separate myself from them enough to work through them
mhm,
now instead of just being overtaken and
mhm,
respond.
mhm.
So those would, I would say, would be the biggest changes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And then I know nutrition wise, many of the ladies in our community do eat keto to keep the low carb, to keep the inflammation down. Several are carnivore. You also did that for, I don't know if you're still doing that. What does your nutrition look like to keep your body healthy and functioning well?
Yeah, that's a great question. Nutrition is the key for everything because that's what's feeding our cells. I generally eat a little bit higher protein. I shoot for between 100 to 125 grams per day
Mhm,
because as we get older, we have muscle loss, of course. And the other thing is that protein is really important for brain function and also for our hormones, all of those things. Next is healthy fats. I
mhm,
Yeah, walnuts, avocados, seeds, nuts, and staying away from seed oils.
mhm,
Getting rid of the vegetable oils, the canola, all of those types of things. So really, if I'm going to eat an oil, it's going to be avocado oil, coconut oil,
mhm,
butter, olive oil, sesame oil. So, looking at adding in those healthier ones.
mhm,
And vinegar. Vinegar has been a really huge opportunity as well. So apple cider vinegar or any type of vinegar, and bitters, adding those,
mhm,
prior to eating, because that
mhm,
does help to level out blood sugars. Um, and what's nice about vinegar is you can find herbal recipes that basically what you're doing is you're adding a bunch of herbs into a vinegar and you're letting it steep for about a week or so. And then you
mhm.
press the herbs out. And the herbal vinegars also can assist with remineralization of the body, they assist with digesting your food, those types of things. So those are some of the main things that
Wow. Does it have to be apple cider vinegar with the mother, you think, or no?
I think having the mother in there is a good idea because it's a live food,
Mm,
and eating food that's alive is really important. If we're eating, like a lot of people say, okay, well, yogurt is really good for you.
mm.
It is really good for you, but
But
if
the right
it's yeah,
kind.
the right kind, but then if it's too pasteurized, then it's actually killed all of the enzymes and
And all the sugar that's added
they
in
add all
them.
the sugar. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So,
dyes.
yeah.
Mhm,
Fermented foods can be really good too, as long as you can tolerate them.
mhm.
I personally love sauerkraut, and so I will, eat live fermented
Yeah.
foods.
We love Bubby's pickles, but since moving
Mhm.
to the South, it's hard to find. I think we need to hit up a health food store and see if they can get some for us, but
Yeah, the great thing is pickling foods or even fermenting foods is something that you can do pretty
oh, right,
easily from
right.
home.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
good. And before I change subject here, what about kombucha? Do you have an opinion on that?
Um, Again, it's a live culture food. I think it's going to be important to find ones that have low sugar. A lot of the
Mhm,
commercial ones that you're going to find, depending on where you live, like California requires a lot of pasteurization, and that's where we are. So, and then I'm noticing that a lot of the kombucha blends that come out now, they do add a lot of sugar to them because
mhm,
people want things to taste a certain way, and
mhm,
kombucha can be very powerful and strong tasting.
mhm.
So it depends.
Yeah, if you can find one, maybe at a
Correct.
health food store or somewhere that's
Yeah,
a little more clean.
exactly.
Wow, we learned so much today, Lisa. Thank you. I would love for anybody that has a question for Lisa to drop in to the chat. I'll make sure that she can answer if you watch the replay. I know we have a busy day today, and people may come back and watch the replay. So please, 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 please feel free to drop your questions into chat for Lisa, and we'll be sure that she can answer for you. Lisa, the name of my podcast is Life with Lipedema: Loved, Valued, and Treasured. Looking at those three words, loved, valued, and treasured, which one really resonates the most with you today,
Mm.
and why?
I'm going with valued. Yeah. And the reason why is because of the things that I've been through. Um, I never really truly valued myself, and I was always looking for that external validation and value. And I feel like this year has been such a turning point for me to where I know how valued I am, but it's because I've learned how to connect with myself and how to value myself.
Mm,
So that's really the biggest gift I've been able to give.
mhm.
Yeah.
And then using the word valued, is there a sentence or two that you could share to encourage our community about being valued or valuing themselves and being their own best friend and being their everyday gift? Anything that you would like to? I kind of got you on the spot there, but you could
No.
share something using your word for the community.
Um, I choose to care for myself and to fuel myself because I value myself, not for any other reason. That's it. It's
Yeah,
very simple.
that's good. I love that.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great intention to carry into our next year.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. So again, thank you very, very much. I have a couple of announcements before we go today. So no show next week. It's New Year's Eve. So just enjoy, be safe, and value yourselves and take good care of yourself. Again, my show will be moving to the second and fourth Wednesday instead of a Tuesday, and it will be at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. You can always watch the replays. I know we have a big following on replays. I'm hoping if we move it up an hour, we'll have a little bit more people joining in. I just love having conversations. So I love it when there's more people to be able to join the conversation. If you ever watch the replay, please be sure and comment. And I will be, checking often and commenting as well as our guest speakers. So put that on your calendars. And Lisa, thank you so much for joining. I just love you so much, truly. Huh, I'm going to get emotional.
Oh,
but I just want you to know that you are truly loved and you are truly valued and you are truly treasured. And I know that our community is going to be very blessed by learning from you. Again, if we could share how people can find you, and we can put that up on the banner. It is in the chat as well. And let's see here. I just wanted to share that we have a masterclass coming up with Lipedema Simplified. And the link is in the comments. It is a masterclass about surgery. So if that's something that you're considering doing to help with the lipedema, the painful fat, you may want to check that out. I have heard that there is going to be a replay, but there will be a fee for it. So sign up and participate in the live so that you can take all your notes and learn all the information and hear from our experts. So that is on December 29th, and just come to the live event. And I think that's it, other than wishing everybody a Merry Christmas. I think we're past Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever your holidays look like, just a time of gathering and being with the people who are special to you. And yeah, we'll just see you next year. Know that you are loved and you are valued and you are treasured. Take care.
wonderful. Thank you. Bye
Thanks.
bye.